In a few weeks, an exhibition will open at the Chicago History Museum to celebrate the impact of Hispanic and Latino communities.
And as NBC5 and Telemundo Chicago mark Hispanic Heritage Month, our Jen Shantz gives us a sneak peek at the exhibition's oral history and introduces us to some of the community voices that were featured.
A showcase of Chicago's rich Latino history, Aquí en Chicago, is a response to a 2019 protest.
A group of students from a high school in Chicago's South Side took a field trip to the Chicago History Museum. They were not impressed.
That's how a 4-part podcast on the exhibition begins.
There's some missing history. The Chicago History Museum kind of has to make up for lost time, so I figured let's just dive right into telling those stories.
Jesse Batend is working with the Chicago History Museum to bring these oral histories to life. Elena Gonzalez is the museum's curator of civic engagement. Working with those students to fill the gaps they saw in representation, the exhibition covers grassroots activism, the early sanctuary movements, and the neighborhoods shaped by these communities.
People automatically think of Pilsen, Little Village, Humboldt Park, and of course I spent a lot of time in those places, but we need to also remember places like the Southeast Side, Calumet, back of the yards, Gage Park.
There was a neighborhood called The Bush,
where South Chicago's Frank and Yolanda Corona fell in love and became activists. Speaking with me from central Mexico, they share how the United Farm Workers boycott inspired them. Here's a young Frank playing music for labor organizers.
When Cesar Chavez went up there and talked about what the boycott was about and how the people were suffering in the fields from the pesticides, from sharecropping, from the pay to the benefits to women and children, I said, no, I couldn't believe it. I
would say that was a trajectory that kind of changed our life. Rhythm in life.
Their story, one of many you'll hear, including the life of late Chicago folklorist Chuy Negrete, personal stories of heroism, and Chicago's third wave of the sanctuary movement, which we're witnessing now.
We had to, as we worked on this, acknowledge the reality of what's going on right now and the hurt and pain and fear that these communities are feeling. So that makes its way into the story.
The museum, which relies on federal funding for some of its work, had 3 grants terminated this year under the Trump administration. But most of the work for this exhibition was already complete. Aquí en Chicago opens in both English and Spanish October 25th.
I want people to engage with that history, hear that history, and kind of get excited about learning about different areas of it as they go along, not only through the exhibition.
Jen Shantz, NBC5 News.
And some of the oral history will be included in the exhibition itself.